In March 2024, I put together a list of the best programs, plugins that would go best with Photoshop and photo editing. Watch that video over here, I guess. It's now 2025, and I've been in the trenches again, doing more pictures and using software, experimenting, testing plugins that claim to make your life easier. Spoiler alert, they don't. The 4 plugins and programs that came out as winners last year are still the ones that I use. Nothing's come forward since that these programs don't do or help me with. They've got new features, smarter tools, better integration. Now these plugins do what Photoshop doesn't do, and that's the point. And that's why this year, one of the runners-up last year, I didn't mention it, but one of the runners-up last year just doesn't make it, and I'm going to uninstall it. It just doesn't do the job I need it to do. I've only used it twice in the last year, so why pay for it? Unfortunately, that program is Luminar Neo. Now, Luminar Neo has gone full circle, come around with AI with their own Gen Erase, what do they got? Gen Swap, Gen Expand, and an Upscale. Now, Photoshop, especially the beta, have all those things going on and do it way better than Luminar does. Luminar was a promising program. I started using Luminar in 2020 when it was Luminar 4 up until this last year. And like I said, I've used it twice in almost a year. Sorry, not worth it. So here are the 4 top programs, plugins that I'm still using in 2025 that have evolved and that are great. Let's dive in, guys. Okay, and let's start with Topaz Labs Photo AI. Now, last year when I did the list, they were at version 2.4.0. Now we're already up to 4.0.3, and things have changed in the GUI and etc., but it's just gotten better. So let's go here. I get this lovely picture of this butterfly and some flowers. So what we'll do, we'll copy the layer and make it a smart object. Filter, Topaz Labs Photo AI. Now the GUI has changed. The autopilot still runs to analyze the image, even though I've got it turned off, because I don't want it telling me what I should do when I have something specific in mind. So we'll wait a second here till it's done its thing. The thing I want to do, let's zoom in a bit here, is this picture is super noisy and the colors need to be done better. It's just not looking good. So let's add an enhancement, and we've got tons of them, and they all have their parameters that you can set so you can get exactly what you want. So what I'm going to start with here is I'm going to start with denoise. I want to get rid of all that JPEG noise and everything else that's going on. Look at all these different options. So let's hit the X here. Now check this out. There's before, we scroll across, after. Completely cleans it up. That's brilliant. Let's add another enhancement. Let's go to sharpen, and we'll leave it at natural for now. It'll do its thing, and it says it's enhanced. So let's focus on this flower up here. So what I'll do is I'll drag it down, and we'll zoom in for a quick look-see here. And before, after, and it makes it nice and sharp. Both of these are nice and sharp. That's great. But you can also try the new refocus. Let's see what that does. Cool. It's roughly the same. A couple of changes there. But I'm going to stick with natural. This is just brilliant. Now, I'll show you here. They've got a new dust and scratch beta. Super focus, remove, denoise, sharpen, adjust the lighting, balance the color. And we can preserve text or even upscale if you want to do that within Topaz Labs Photo AI 4. Now I'm going to do a video a little bit later on, and I'm going to go through every one of these things to see what they're like. But right now, sharpen and denoise, it's already enhanced this picture great. So I'll export it to Adobe Photoshop. And I'll continue doing what I may want to do in Photoshop with this picture. but the butterfly and everything is just looking great from what it was before. I like it. All right, now the second one here is another Topaz Labs product, and that's Gigapixel. Now we're up to version 8.4.2. In here, you don't use a smart object, but we'll copy the layer. We'll go to File, Automate, and Gigapixel AI. Now itself, it does the same kind of thing. It analyzes the picture. We got standard high fidelity. It tells you all the different models. And these aren't even the legacy models. If you want the legacy models, you'll have to turn them on in the preferences. But for most of these pictures that I do, that people ask me to do, I normally hit standard, especially for pictures like this, and it's enhanced it. Now, let's have a quick look to see what we got going on here. And you can tell in the faces that it's a little bit better. But what I like, we can do face recovery to make it just a little bit sharper. Both faces are selected. Okay, good. And now it's going to do its thing. And what we should do, right now we got it on creative. Let's see what it does. Now, anytime anything, it takes a little time. I'll speed up the footage here so we don't waste time. So now let's see what we got going on here. Let's zoom in a bit. Now you can see here, automatically the picture is noisy. But when we go across, the picture is cleared up and everything is just made out nice. It hasn't altered their faces to the point where a lot of AI does. If you use ChatGPT and stuff, the faces are the same. They're just better. So you can use Gen 2 and Creative and adjust its strength. Great stuff. Now, if you want to hit realistic, let's hit realistic just for argument's sake and see what it does. All right. It's pretty much the same thing. It's okay, I'll put it back on creative. Now, what we can do is let's go back to here and we can redefine realistic and redefine creative. These are two new beta things that they got going on. Plus, we've got a recovery for low quality images. I'll probably do a video on every one of these settings here so we can check it out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to redefine realistic. And it asks, okay, what do you want to redefine? I always pick a large square. And let's do the girl's face. Like I said, I'll speed things up if it takes too long. But first, it'll render a preview of just that box. Very cool. It's cleaned it up. Let's do the whole image. All right. In the end, it took 1 minute and 10 seconds. That's nothing to sit and wait. Have a drink, whatever you want to do. Now, let's check things out. It cleared it up earlier before. But now let's look at the faces. It's just amazing how much it cleaned it up. The rims on the glasses are better, right down to the guy's beard hair. Smiles are clearer. Everything is just that much better. All the noise and everything is gone from this picture. Now, the one thing I did notice is there's a guy in the background here, but I was going to remove him anyways, but it's distorted his face because that's what it sees. But check this out. Look by his ear. Amazing. It's just cleaned everything up. All right, now that we're back in Photoshop, so let's look here. Before, after. Before, after. Great changes. This is great stuff. Okay, now when it comes to portraits, there is no better program out there that has more options than Anthropics PortraitPro. So what we'll do is we'll copy the layer, make it a smart object, and go in there. I'll quickly show you what's going on with this. What it does is it finds your face and maps it out. Now, when it comes to this, there's almost nothing you can't do. Everything from shaping the face, skin smoothing, the lighting, makeup, eyes, mouth and nose, hair. And then now they've added a few things. is you can actually adjust different things in with the picture. It's all kinds of stuff here. Throw a vignette in there, whatever you wish. They've added some different layers too, and you can change the background, add an overlay, viewer edit, or the background mask. The masks are usually really good too. Now, in painting is something new. So if there's something with the mouth and teeth you don't like, you're given 5 different AI options of what it does for you. Same thing with reducing reflections in glasses. I've used that a couple of times. It's not as good as my other method, so I don't usually use that one. Stray hairs is a good one. Removing in-painting effects in case if you do something and you don't really want to do that. And face recovery. Face recovery is something interesting. There's eyes and there's nose and the mouth and the face recovery. If you want me to do a video of all this kind of stuff, leave me a comment down below. And even in the end, it removes noise. You got a clone tool in case if there's something on the face you may want to clone. It normally isn't do that. Replacing sky, we got artifacts. This program is just amazing. Check this out. One click, and you got this artsy thing going on here. Rainbow paint, scratches, whatever you feel. And you can also adjust the sliders of that. One thing I like using is when it comes to hair, because sometimes the ladies want their hair changed a bit when I get asked to do that. And right away you can change it to whatever color you want. Make sure your mask is okay, but red, mahogany, dark mahogany. Let's go way down here. Midnight black, blue black. You know, even the weird colors, the grays and the greens and the pinks and stuff. This is such a great program, and you can, of course, you can adjust all the parameters. You hit OK, and you can do even more. You can add colored highlights if you want. It's just amazing what this program will do. It is simply the best out there for portraits. Now, I've got 3 or 4 programs that I'd like to do for portraits to see who really is the champion, but right now, PortraitPro is the best. Now, last but not least is Boris FX Optics. This is the best program out there for doing anything to a photo that you normally can't do in Photoshop, which is the whole idea, to find something that Photoshop won't do and use it and pay for it as a plugin. So we'll copy the layer, make it a smart object so we can make changes later, and we're going to filter, Boris FX Optics. Now, personally, I use optics at the end of an edit sometimes, but if you want special effects or just something a little different, this is it. This has got everything you ever want to put into a picture. What I like to use in it is I like to go to Film Lab and Film Stocks, and then I choose color films. Now, in here, they emulate all kinds of different color films. One I like to use right off the hop is the Agfa Precise 100. And look at this. It's amazing before, after. The colors are so rich and it makes it more portrait-like. We can go down. Another one I like to use is the Kodachrome 25. Again, the colors and everything are just amazing, and it throws a little bit of light on there. I just love it. And you have so many options of what you can do here. That's one of the different things I like to do with it. But like I said, there's so many special effects in here, it's just unreal. And you can fix different parts of a picture. Hey, let's make it black and white. No, that's not right. But, you know, you can color correct. You can do anything you want. You can enhance certain things, enhancing greens, enhancing reds, whatever you wish. Or you can go to like lens and distort and use all kinds of different effects in here. Another good one is light, where you can add ambient lights to things or rainbows or whatever you want. Let's scroll over here. I like this here. Lens flare. A nice lens flare. Move it to wherever you want it. Or you can create a mask behind them and have it just come back there. One of the cool things I like about this too, they have these really neat lights through shutters and things that are just great to make the whole picture. Or you could do light leaks. Tons and tons of light leaks. It's all about special effects in here, and it's just amazing. Orbs or whatever you wish to do. But you got a cool vignette. You got all kinds of special effects here that you can use. Boris FX Optics is the best there is. Let's throw some sparkles in there if you want. It's all about special effects or creating something that you want. Amazing stuff. Boris Optics, the best for special effects for a Photoshop plugin. So there you have it. The top 4 plugins that I'm still using in 2025. They've evolved, they've gotten better. They all do things that Photoshop doesn't. That's the bar now, that's the whole game. As far as Luminar Neo goes, I'm sorry, but it's gotta go. It just doesn't do it anymore, and I can't get used to the GUI. It's just not happening for me anymore. Sorry. If my videos or tutorials have helped you, please let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. It'll be cool to see ya. Now, I've got an upcoming video. I'm going to try a few programs specifically for portrait retouching. Nothing to do with landscapes or anything else, you know, removing people or any of that kind of stuff. This is going to be strictly for portraits, the face, and watch for that video coming up in a little bit. I'm Don from Photo 911. See ya.